The Bitcoin study is the largest multicentric investigation of bipolar disorder conducted across India and provides a clinically grounded picture of patients presenting to tertiary psychiatric centers. The mean age of onset in the Indian cohort was 26.3 years, with the highest proportion of onsets between 21 and 30 years, followed by 11 to 20 years. Very late onset beyond 50 years was rare. This broadly aligns with Western epidemiological data, where peak onset is also in early adulthood. However, the striking difference is not age of onset but polarity of onset and longitudinal course. Approximately 92% of the sample met criteria for bipolar I disorder, while only 7.6% were diagnosed with bipolar II disorder. In contrast, community and clinical studies from Europe and North America report substantially higher proportions of bipolar II disorder, often ranging from 20 to 40% in specialty settings. The low proportion of bipolar II in the Indian cohort likely reflects underrecognition of hypomania, referral bias to tertiary centers for more severe mania, and diagnostic overshadowing by recurrent depression. For residents, this underscores the need to actively screen for past hypomanic episodes in patients labeled as recurrent unipolar depression. First episode polarity in the Indian cohort was predominantly manic or hypomanic at 58.1%, compared to 41.9% depressive onset. Western longitudinal studies typically report either a predominance of depressive onset or near equal distribution, with many cohorts showing depressive first episodes in more than half of cases. This difference has major diagnostic implications. In Western settings, bipolar disorder is often first identified after recurrent depressive episodes. In India, a substantial proportion present initially with mania, which may facilitate earlier diagnostic labeling but also increases the risk of acute behavioral and psychosocial disruption early in the illness. Across the lifetime course, manic episodes slightly outnumbered depressive episodes in the Indian sample, with a mean of 3.68 manic versus 3.36 depressive episodes. Episodes per year were also marginally higher for mania. This manic predominance contrasts with many Western datasets where depressive morbidity dominates longitudinally, and time spent depressed significantly exceeds time spent manic. In the Bitcoin cohort, depressive episodes were somewhat shorter in duration than manic or mixed episodes. Clinically, this suggests that although depression remains common and morbid, the overall symptomatic burden in Indian tertiary samples may tilt toward mania rather than depression. Rapid cycling was identified in 5.8% of patients, lower than Western lifetime estimates that typically range from 12 to 24%. Seasonal pattern was observed in 9.4%, which is comparable to Western data. The lower rate of rapid cycling may reflect genetic, environmental, or treatment pattern differences, though referral bias cannot be excluded. It also suggests that lithium-responsive, classical episodic bipolar disorder may be relatively more common in Indian tertiary settings. Lifetime suicide attempt rate was 31.3%, which is comparable to Western figures that range between 25 and 50% in clinical samples. Notably, female patients in the Indian cohort had significantly higher suicide attempt rates than males, despite mania being more common overall. This pattern aligns with global data showing higher attempt rates in females, although completed suicide is often higher in males. The key clinical point is that manic predominance does not equate to lower suicide risk. Residents must systematically assess suicidal ideation and behavior irrespective of current polarity. Psychotic features were present in 42.2% of patients at least once in their lifetime. This is consistent with international data for bipolar I disorder, where psychotic features occur in a substantial minority to nearly half of cases. Given the high proportion of bipolar I disorder in the cohort, this finding is expected and reinforces the need for careful differentiation from primary psychotic disorders during early episodes. Substance use disorders were present but at lower rates than typically reported in Western cohorts. Tobacco dependence was 17.6% overall, alcohol dependence 10.3%, and cannabis dependence 1.7%. Western studies often report much higher comorbidity, particularly with alcohol and cannabis. Possible explanations include sociocultural patterns of substance use, underreporting, and the existence of parallel addiction treatment pathways that may reduce psychiatric sample enrichment. For male patients, however, substance use remains significantly higher than in females, consistent with both Indian and global gender patterns. Metabolic burden was substantial. 59% of the sample met criteria for obesity using BMI thresholds above 24.9, with higher prevalence in females. This is clinically significant in the context of long-term mood stabilizer and antipsychotic use, and mirrors the growing global concern regarding cardiometabolic risk in bipolar disorder. Compared to Western data, where metabolic syndrome rates are also elevated, the Indian figures suggest that metabolic monitoring must be integrated early into management plans. Treatment exposure was nearly universal, with 99.5% having received mood stabilizers at some point. However, 92% had discontinued prophylactic medication on their own, and 65.2% had experienced relapse associated with poor adherence. These rates of non-adherence are comparable to or higher than Western reports, which often cite long-term non-adherence rates of 40 to 60%. Cultural beliefs, side effect burden, episodic insight, and reliance on non-biomedical systems contribute to this pattern. In fact, 86.7% reported lifetime consultation with faith healers, highlighting the sociocultural context within which treatment occurs. This dimension is less prominent in most Western epidemiological descriptions. More than half of patients required at least one lifetime hospitalization, and nearly 1/4 received ECT. These figures reflect illness severity in tertiary care samples and are broadly comparable to severe bipolar I cohorts internationally. In summary, the Indian tertiary care bipolar population, as characterized by the BID-COIN study, shows earlier adult onset similar to Western data but differs in polarity distribution, with manic onset and manic predominance across the course. Rapid cycling appears less frequent, suicide attempt rates are comparable, substance use comorbidity is lower overall but gender skewed, and treatment non-adherence remains a major driver of relapse. For postgraduate residents, the clinical takeaway is clear. Always obtain a detailed longitudinal polarity history, actively screen for hypomania in depressive presentations, assess suicide risk irrespective of episode type, monitor metabolic parameters systematically, and address adherence within the patient's cultural framework.